Welcome to the final major championship of the PBA's Big February, the USBC Masters. Its top seed is a familiar face, three-time PBA Player of the Year, Jason Belmonte. 2 weeks ago, Jason Belmonte roared back into the limelight with his first win in 2 years, capturing the 7th major title of his career, the Barbasol PBA Players Championship. Today, Belmonte is once again a contender in a major final here in Las Vegas at the USBC Masters, a tournament he won 3 years in a row. Will Belmo end Big February the way he started, by taking home another title? Find out right now. And welcome to the 2017 USBC Masters inside the Orleans in beautiful Las Vegas. Let's meet our 5 finalists with our in-house MC.
Welcome to the USBC Masters. Here are your finalists. The number 5 seed holds 8 European Bowling Tour titles. From Gothenburg, Sweden, Martin Larsen. First team All-American and collegiate MVP at San Jose State University. Making this his first career TV appearance, the number 4 seed from San Francisco, California, Michael Tang. In 2016, he finished second in the PBA Cheetah Championship. The number 3 seed from San Francisco, California, Darren Tang. The number 2 seed is making this his first career TV appearance. From Brigham City, Utah, Alex Hoskins. With 13 career PBA Tour titles and 3-time ESPY Award winner, the number 1 seed reigning from New South Wales, Australia, Jason Belmonte. This is the USBC Masters.
Oh, are you jacked up? Because we have 4 hours of live bowling, back-to-back telecast, never been done before. Along with the Hall of Famer Randy Peterson, I'm Dave Lamont. Kimberly Pressler will join us in a moment. It's our privilege to bring you a little television bowling history. Well, Randy, the story is Jason Belmonte going for an unprecedented 4th USBC Masters. Are we now in the middle of another Belmo big wave?
Boy, it sure looks like it, doesn't it? I mean, it was just a couple of weeks ago that we were talking about what happened to Jason Belmonte, and all he does is go out and win the Players' Championship. Last week almost makes the show at TSC, and here he finds himself in a very, very familiar position at the Masters as the number 1 seed. Dave, he's the only player on today's telecast that's ever won. He needs only 1 win to win his 8th major today.
So he is in an outstanding position. Now, you've had a chance to see the finalists. Let's see how they stack up on the classic stepladder format. Our opening match will feature Martin Larsen. We've seen him before just a couple of weeks ago against young Michael Tang, whose brother Darren is the number 3 seed. Then Alex Hoskins making his television debut is number 2. And then Jason Belmonte will patiently await all of that to find out if he is indeed going to capture that major championship. But he's not going anywhere. But first, he makes a stop with our Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, guys. I'm laneside with Jason Belmonte, the number 1 seed coming into today. You know, you've had a big month so far. You won a major at the beginning of this month. You almost made the show last week, finished in the 7th. You're undefeated coming into today and sitting in the number 1 seed. You seem almost rejuvenated coming into 2017. What's behind it?
Yeah, I feel like I'm just bowling for me. You know, I'm not looking ahead. I'm just in the moment. I'm living in the moment. I'm bowling really happy, and I think that's been a huge a contribution to my efforts on the lanes. Just feeling really like no weight on my shoulders, no expectation, just executing my shot and, you know, trying to wish those pins to fall over.
Are you ready for today?
Absolutely. I want to get out here now. I want to actually bowl the first match. That's how ready I am.
All right. Well, you're going to wait a little bit because we'll see you in the final match. But, guys, we're going to send it back to you.
All right, Kimberly and Jason, thank you very much. Jason's got to be getting pretty used to these interviews by now, I would like to think. Now, Randy, we do not have the blue oil today, so take us through our pattern.
Well, it's 40 feet in length, Masters pattern, pretty good scores all week long, but what we've seen this week was a lot of urethane bowling balls going down the lane.
Martin Larsen will begin. Martin, a couple of weeks ago, finished 4th in Ohio. He has no tour titles, but he has won overseas. Well, he hated it with good reason.
Looked like it was out of his hand quick and right. Martin Larsen not going with urethane, although he did use urethane a lot this week. Big, tall Swede. Just kind of misses this a little bit at the bottom.
Big week here in Vegas for Larsen. He's got his family here from Sweden, mom and dad. Daughters are here. So it's been an exciting time for them and obviously for him. And a tricky spare covered routinely by Larsen. Got a little sigh of relief, undoubtedly. Now here's our first look in a professional setting at Michael Tang. What a talent, 21 years old. He's still in college at San Jose State. He's wrapping up there. And he is the 2015 Intercollegiate Singles Champion.
Two-time member of Junior Team USA.
And he kicks him aside right there.
That is urethane, pretty straight. Kind of old school, brings me back to the 80s when when I was a youngster bowling on tour, and there it is. You see his arsenal, pitch black. A lot of folks want to know the difference between reactive resin and urethane, and it's the additive that both reactive resin and the urethane, they're both made out of urethane, but there's a little ingredient in the reactive resin, if you will, that makes it much more spongy. It adheres to the lane surface much more than just a standard urethane ball.
Just buries them. So you anticipate a primarily urethane show today then?
Early, I didn't expect anything different from the Tang brothers because that was their bread and butter all week long. It was playing out anywhere between, say, 3 and 7 and real straight and direct with urethane.
So Larsen down in a little bit of a hole here early to Michael Tang. Looks like a better shot. Yeah, 5-pin. A little reluctant, but down it goes. There's mom and dad right there. Martin's parents in from Sweden. And there are the daughters and mom Diana there also.
First time in the States for Martin's family.
Well, I hope they really love bowling because Martin has a unique opportunity here with our doubleheader today because he is the top seed in the World Bowling Tour, which comes up following this show.
And you see Martin's arsenal. He's going with reactive with a phase 2. You see how much difference the numbers are between that and the pitch black.
That was an attacking shot that time.
So the players started farther right in practice to try to burn up the spot, and then they just kind of parallel in off of that. They're all starting around 3, 4, 5 board. Now it looks like they're right at about 7, 8 at the arrows. Sure enough, that ball right up 8. Martin keeping his hand underneath the ball to keep that roll more forward. Anytime you're going straighter, Dave, it's always better to have a more end-over-end type of ball rotation.
Have you not said many times straighter is greater?
Well, it sure is, especially for the wheat.
Yeah, this guy has mad game. His brother will tell you that he's more talented. And we kind of knew he was talented a long time ago. This was uncovered by PBA Commissioner Tom Clark. Found this picture of Michael Tang at age 10 with a 300 game.
The crowd just saw it too.
Well, at the time, he was the youngest bowler. He's since been eclipsed.
Yeah. Actually, I have the record, Dave. I
Do you?
I bowled 300 when I was 3.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but
how many shots did
nobody
that take?
counts that.
No, of course not. Well, you would never be the kind of guy to bring it up in public either.
Well.
So. Yeah, the crowd got a little chuckle out of that. I don't know how Michael felt. Got to hurry there, and he got a break.
I'll tell you what, that'll loosen up your swing on national television. Crossing over after he misses left badly, gets the trip 6. What a huge break working on a 3-bagger. There you go. Talk about instant swing lube.
That's something you ought to be marketing. Randy Peterson's instant swing lube. You see how Martin Larsen got through. Beat some very good players. Alex Hoskins, our number 2 seed. Sent him into that 4-man eliminator. And brings up some trouble there. And that eliminator has got some bad memories for Larsen. He had been there a couple of times before and got left behind. There's 4 competitors for 3 spots on the show. This time he made it through. And covers it smoothly, but he is in a bit of a hole here as Tang is perfect through 4.
Be nice to set up the going to a commercial break with a strike here. Martin needs to try to apply pressure to the young Michael Tang, who's never been in this situation before. But spares aren't going to do it. He needs to start striking.
That looks perfect and high. Wow. I thought that was an excellent shot. I guess it was just high a tick.
Well, he missed it off of his hand on the right lane, and it looked like that was a bit of a compensatory move. He caught a little bit more of it. It looked like it was on line, but broke loose right before it got to the 1-3, coming in high, leaving the 4-pin.
Trouble there, but again, that's 3 spares for Larsen, and he's down 23. Now, Michael Tang, and he had to do some work, because when you lose early in this event and get sent down to the loser's bracket, you have to hand fight your way out of there. But look who he took down there, number 17, Pete Weber. And no one had to bowl more than Michael Tang just to get to that number 4 seed.
42 games in all for Michael Tang.
Wow, just exploding in the pins here at the Orleans. He does not seem the worse for wear. Of course, being 21 years old will do that. His brother Darren awaits the winner.
Well, he's throwing it great. He's got a nice ball reaction. It's pretty simple. He just has to kind of stay out of his own way and keep the ball on line. He's probably going to be around the pocket, and his opponent isn't applying any pressure.
That's a good point, because although Michael has been on television before when he did the intercollegiate singles, this is a different environment and everything different at stake. And Larsen opened up throwing a bad shot to start the match. The end of the run there as he leaves behind the 6-10.
Back-to-back shots pulled on the left lane, but no harm, no foul if he converts the 6-10. Beautiful game. We see so many of these young players on the tour now, and even though Michael Tang's not a PBA member yet, I'm sure he will be in the future, but sure does have that prototypical power game that we see so often.
Find him on Twitter, by the way, as Easy Mike Breezy.
What?
Yes, sir. I wouldn't make that up. Nor will I make up the fact that he has a 31-pin advantage through 5.5 here, and he is about halfway to a Tang matchup in our second match. Martin Larsen's got to do a little work if he wants to move on in our USBC Masters opening match. The USBC Masters is brought to you by the United States Bowling Congress, creating competitive opportunities at all levels as we build a future for the sport. Visit bowl.com for more. By Barbasol, new Barbasol premium disposable razors with close shave technology, America's leader for a close, comfortable shave. By Storm, where innovation and passion collide. Storm is the bowler's company. and by Brunswick. Find your next ball at ballwithbrunswick.com. It is time for our extra frame tournament highlights, beginning, of course, with number 1, Jason Belmonte.
Yeah, the only player to go undefeated in this event. Belmonte primarily used urethane throughout the entire event.
And he earned the number 1 seed in a mano-a-mano duel with the number 2 seed, Alex Hoskins, who is only in his 2nd national event.
And there's Belmonte's tour roommate, Bill O'Neill, making a nice run, but struggled with ball reaction in his final match in Game 3.
Darren Tang didn't struggle with his ball reaction, and if anybody knows Darren Tang, it's this guy, his brother.
Both Tang brothers using urethane from out. Younger brother Michael making his first ever telecast.
And Martin Larsen's been on TV before. He's going to have a double header today.
Will Martin Larsen finally capture his first ever career title?
Your top 5 seeds from left to right. So we take a look at the format. 391 bowlers, so that's how impressive it is for 5 to be here. Cut to the top 64 after qualifying games and double elimination match play. So Martin Larsen now down by 31. Trying to rally a little bit. He was fussing a little bit with the approaches during the break there, and he had a little issue with that yesterday.
Well, following the Tang brothers in the 4-player shootout, 4 players for 3 spots last night, the Tang brothers use an orange slide heel. It's a rubber heel on the slide foot.
Gotta hurry. And he broke up a disaster, but that's still tough.
That's been leaving a little residue on the lanes. And Martin Larsen kind of finds where the Tang brothers are sliding, but they're all playing fairly similar lines. And so he goes up and checks the approaches while we were in commercial break. But you know, that kind of stuff, you got to just kind of deal with it, and there's nothing illegal about it. It's just a combination that they've decided to wear.
The swing wide to go after this one, and very professionally handled by Larsen. But he also has to understand that he pretty much has to punch out here unless Tang makes a big mistake.
Down by 33, he's got to start striking here and get himself, at least give himself a chance as we take a look at other finishers. Bill O'Neill just missing out.
P. Weber had a great month, and he was not 100% healthy in this event either. And Jalen Mosley, and we'll tell you a little bit more about Cody Holbeck had a great run too. Jalen Mosley, 16 years old. This was his birthday present into the Masters. Through the face and leaves a 610 behind. And Larsen, you can just almost hear him thinking right now, trying to figure out how to get out of this.
I got some information during the break from Tim Mack, the Storm Tour consultant, who said it looks like the left lane is starting to hook early, and he thinks that the left lane is going to be the key in every match.
We'll watch for that, and we'll watch for the adjustments that these players are forced to make on the fly. And as a matter of fact, Tim was just in a conversation with Larsen. It is in a conversation with Larsen right now. All right, there's a good look. There's the heel, Randy.
Yep.
Now, these shoes are available for anybody, right?
Absolutely, and the sole and heels are interchangeable.
That's not interchangeable. That's, that's not for everybody. That kind of talent.
Yeah, if you like that shot, swipe right.
Here's Jalen Mosley. Boy, he put on a tremendous performance in getting to where he did. And you wonder, how did he do it? Well, he paid his entry fee. And just absolutely spectacular performance. And he showed great ability to recover from bad moments. I watched quite a bit of his bowling for a couple of days, and I was so impressed with his poise.
Works with Tim Mack back in Indianapolis. So
yeah, is out of the same house those two are.
Yeah, he's getting some pretty good instruction there.
Just stalking the pins right now.
He made a little move left to get out of that hooking spot in the front part of the lane, and this is just perfect. There's not a lot of slide going on with that orange heel he's got on, and that allows him to create the leverage to make great shots like that.
We are closer to a Tang v. Tang matchup here. You saw the max scores. Larsen can only do 233. And he's on his way to that. I say only 233, but in this case, that may not be enough.
And we talked to him last night and asked him about not having a win on the PBA Tour. And he said, you know, I just have to keep giving myself enough opportunities. I thought this was a pretty good opportunity for him, given the format and the fact that there was a lot of urethane balls going down the lane.
He might have been a little bit out of place 2 weeks ago in Columbus and finished 4th there. And referring to the conditions, not the field. And he doubles. But he's an interesting guy. He'll tell you, I don't really do one thing spectacularly well, but I do a lot of things well. And I'm steady, and that's going to pay off. And I think it will. And it would make a lot of people on the tour happy when that happens.
Yep. I don't think there's a player out here that wouldn't like to see Martin Larsen win. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen today, as this young man is really putting on quite the show. And I heard a rumor that his mom's a pretty good Pai Gow player.
Oh, I think that's more than a rumor. Just continually punishing the pins. Continually. And in case you're wondering, and we're about to get there, brothers have competed against each other on television on tour, but it has been a while. In fact, if I do my math right, neither Darren or Michael were alive when that happened.
Let's see, it was 23 years ago?
So now Michael. Darren is, I believe, 23. Yep, exactly 23. Heck, Alex Hoskins, our number 2 seed, is only 24. Continuing our young guns trend this year on the tour. That's going to be a little through the face and a kick 4.
Great opening match for Michael Tang, who will take on his brother. Last time we saw Brothers Bowl, it was 1994. Dale Traber against Dave Traber at the National Championship, Toledo, Ohio. I used to room with Dave towards the end of my career. And Lumpy, if you're listening in, I hope you're doing well, my friend. But Dave Traber ended up winning that major.
Now, wasn't there something else happening on that show that was incredibly historic?
Yeah, Johnny Petraglia bowled 300 for $100 grand.
Not bad. And not bad for Michael Tang either. So yes, it will be Michael Tang and Darren Tang. It's not the first time they bowled against each other, and it certainly isn't going to be the last. The 2 Tang clan about to get it on in our next match. On Monday, we've got 8th-ranked North Carolina squaring off against number 18 Virginia in our first game on Big Monday at 7 o'clock Eastern. Then off we go to the Fog, Oklahoma, and 3rd-ranked Kansas. The Jayhawks have done it again with another piece of the Big 12 title for 13 straight years. Big Monday presented by eBay on ESPN, streaming live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. Let's go to our Ebonite flashback, Randy. Let's go to Milwaukee. Better yet, let's go to Miller Park and see our buddy Sean Rash in action.
Boy, was that a great venue to call the action in. Sean Rash shows a little Brooklyn, says, oh, well.
That's a little better.
He said, that one's better, and it was. Look at him just buzzing on it.
They couldn't go much farther right than that. He'd end up in right field. Just warming up for that big finish we like to show you at the beginning of our telecast with Sean. First major of his career.
That was 10 years ago?
Yeah, man. All right, here it is. Darren and Michael, the Tang brothers, about to go at it. A little higher stakes, although you never know. In their minds, sometimes just bowling at their local house or bowling league could have been some pretty high stakes, too, with the Tang family. And you know who's standing by with Kimberly Presley? The proud parents, Kimberly.
Oh, very proud parents. They're gleaming over here with excitement. So, Thomas, Tracy, you know what? You guys have a huge, match coming up next. Both your boys are going to be in it, but they're going head to head. So one of them is not going to make it out of this round. What's going through your mind?
You know what? Making TV, they're both winners. No matter what happens out there today, they're both winners.
Now, we were talking just a few minutes ago, and you said you knew it was going to happen someday. You just didn't think it was going to happen this early.
This is very, very soon. I mean, we weren't quite prepared for this, but, you know, you just kind of go with the flow.
Can you put into words how proud you are of these two?
Oh, we are extremely proud. These two boys have grown up to be wonderful young men, not just bowlers, but wonderful young men. We're too proud of them.
How about you, Thomas? Can you put into words how proud you are of these guys?
No, words can't describe it. But.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us here, and good luck to both your boys. We'll be cheering them on over here. Guys, we're going to send it back to you in the booth.
That would be like me. I wouldn't be able to get a word out. If it was my kids or my son bowling, I'd be like,
Well, we're going to find out. What are they rooting for? Come on, you know, one of them thinks mother loved you more. Right. And we're about to get to Michael Tang versus Darren Tang, the second match of this USBC Masters telecast, and the brothers are standing by with Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. You know, I am laying side with both the Tang boys, and you guys have done such a great job to get here. But I have to ask, you guys have a really great rapport together. So who do you think is the better bowler?
Depends on the day.
Oh, and you?
I agreed. Depends on the day, but I'm going to say today it's going to be me.
Oh, I like his confidence. Oh, Darren's like, I don't know. So let's ask, how many times do you think you guys have played against each other, and how are you going to use that today to your advantage?
Countless times. I mean, I really couldn't tell you a number. I don't see any kind of advantage or disadvantage, so we're just going to go out there. Whoever knocks down the most pins is going to win.
All right, well, I wish you both the best of luck today, and let's get to some bowling, guys.
All right, Kimberly, thank you. Darren and Michael, thank you. Both these guys, San Jose State. Darren, a three-time All-American collegiately. Dad can barely watch, or maybe he's checking. Is that Mike Fagan I just saw there?
it is.
How about that? Good to see Mike here. Now, Darren Tang, if you were with us in December last year, 2016, he was second in the PBA Cheetah Championship to Mike Wolf at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno. A tough day for Darren in that match. He only rolled a 143. Odds are he's going to do way better than that today, and he will lead it off.
Shot 237 to get out of the four-person semifinal round, and then Mike Wolf shoots 279 at him for the title.
And taking pretty much the same line as his brother, left a flat 10, though.
And that is urethane as well, playing a very similar line than brother Michael. Not as much hand, he leaves that soft 10.
So we've mentioned this has happened before, but not very often. And look at 1980. Bo and Neil Burton.
Yeah.
And Neil won that one. Right off to my right are the flags of the past champions. And in fact, the Nelson Burton Jr. 1976 flag, I can almost reach out and steal, which I won't do, Bo. And 1980, there's Neil right over there.
We don't hear Bo mentioning that a lot, about how his brother beat him that day.
Looks like we have a rack issue here.
Respot the 10-pin.
Yep. Something that Darren caught. You get 2 per match.
Looking at some of these flags behind you, Billy Whaley.
Can I get a redo?
Yeah, you can't get the redo on the whole shot, Darren, but if you take a look at his match play record, he defeated our defending champion, Anthony Simonson. Bill O'Neill knocked him into the loser's bracket, but he and Dom Barrett had a spirited match, and he knocked Dom out. After all that, he routinely covers the pin. But to your point about the flags that are right by us, pretty amazing names.
Dave Sutar, Jim Godman, Rick Steelsmith, Frank Ellenberg, Eddie Rustler Jr. Some of the names are just, boy, it sure brings back memories when I was a kid watching some of these great players bowl. Bob Strampy.
A couple of Earl Anthony flags as well. Stiff on the 4-pin. Well, these approaches by these players, I should say, the lines look to me identical.
Yeah, they're going to be real close when using urethane because you have to stay as close to the friction as possible. Rev rate's not a huge factor unless you're a Jesper Svensson or Anthony Simonson or
looking for
our
a
tournament leader,
140
Jason
versus
Belmonte.
130
Yes, I knew you were going to get that name. And Belmo is the top seed. He awaits everybody. 24-year-old Alex Hoskins is standing by. And are we having another issue here, I guess, with the rack, perhaps?
It just swept the 4-pin off. So,
well, that would be nice, but I would count that on my score, but I don't think that's going to work here. So a steady start for both brothers. And let's head over, speaking of steady, that certainly describes Martin Larsen's game, and he is standing by with Kimberly.
It sure does, Dave. So, Martin, this didn't pan out the way you wanted it to. It just seemed like you couldn't figure out the lanes today. What was happening?
No, I made a little miscalculation there on where to play. I should have moved in a little bit more, a little deeper, and tried to hook it a little bit more. But still, it's pretty hard to bowl the guys that are shooting 260 against you every time. So I don't know if it would have mattered.
Well, your day is not over. You still have another show to do right after this one, the World Bowling Tour Finals. Yeah. What do you have to do to reboot, wipe the slate clean for that?
Well, luckily I have my family here, so I can spend some time with them and play with the kids. And I think I will get back on sharp and fresh and really want to get that one out.
All right, well, good luck to you today. We'll see you in a few hours. Guys, back to you.
You see that trip 4 by Mike?
I did.
Yeah, you know what he just said to his brother? Mom always did like me best. Take that.
Well, I have to tell you, you and I kind of looked at each other, and Michael said, yeah, I think I am. And Darren had a blank look on his face.
Yes.
Like, you know what? We were joking around yesterday there, Sporty, but this is business now. And that just attacking a 10 straight back. Older brothers tend to be a touch more serious. The younger one's a little impetuous. That's the way it is in my with my kids.
Completely different game for Darren Tang. He does fight early timing, and you can see it. That ball gets up to the top of the swing, gets down pretty quick, and so that's the one thing he's constantly working on. As we take a look at his arsenal, hey, guess what? Pitch black, urethane.
Can you envision a scenario today where we'll get out of urethane?
I can actually. Okay, I wasn't trying to keep you in suspense. I was just trying not to talk over that shot. But Alex Hoskins did not use urethane.
Okay.
He used reactive resin all week. So there's your scenario. All
right.
You're now up to date.
He will be next.
Yeah.
And we'll see what he does. Maybe he changes his game plan. Got to be a lot going on in his mind as he watches this.
Dave, I think we've both grown.
And people are going, it's about time. Here you go. These aren't strikes that are like sloppy looking strikes. These are violent hits from these two brothers. We're even through 3.
Just a beautiful hand at the bottom of the swing. See that slide foot coming to a stop before the ball gets there. He's got all the tools necessary to be a very good tour player.
He's not joined yet, so if he wins, this is not a PBA Tour title for Michael.
Didn't like it.
Wow. Well, he's only left with 1. He now just turned to find out what the damage was.
Well, I'll tell you what, for as bad as he made it look, that's not terrible.
Got high standards. And he'll have no trouble with that at all.
I just keep thinking about the movie Step Brothers with Will Ferrell.
Great movie.
Thinking about what was going on in between the two of these guys growing up. I mean, obviously they're super competitive. I mean,
this dynamic today, Randy, is so different than yesterday. These guys were both in that 4-man match to make 3.
Yeah.
And they both got off the hot starts, and they were loose and laughing and talking to each other and sitting together and helping each other out a little bit. Obviously, we have a different dynamic here in every way possible. That's going to go through the face and leave the 3-6-10. But it is so different from yesterday.
Yeah, they both said they were pretty loose in that 4-player shootout. They knew at least one of them was going to make it. And you could see that ball was actually a little bit farther right than they've been playing, and it went high. It's interesting, the urethane that we've seen the last couple of weeks. Remember last week, Tommy Jones used urethane from out and was 1 shot away from winning the Tournament of Champions.
That is never an easy spare to make. Always a big sigh of relief now. Michael leading by 2 over Darren. You see 189 pros, what they averaged. 202 amateurs averaging a very competitive, almost 198. And we actually have 2 non-PBA members who made the Final 5. Number 2 seed, Alex Hoskins, mentioned is in his 2nd national tournament. And we're going to show you the list of players Alex Hoskins beat later on, and you're going to be impressed. Oh, looks like he cleaved it. It's just everything sort of split in half.
Yeah, he got it into that little half pocket zone and was able to trip that weak 10. Watch this here. See that early timing. He doesn't get to the foul line anything like his brother, but nice pin carry here. Almost looked like the 6 and the 10 went out at the same time.
Just attacking again, that stalking of the pins from Michael Tang. And look at how tight this is through 5. Just 2 pins difference between these two. Pretty much playing the same line. So Dad was nervous before. What do you think he's doing now? He's hanging in there, but
I mean, who do you root for? Dad's just like, well, one of them's going to win, one of them's going to lose, and
yeah, it's funny because you wonder what would you do in this position if you were the parent.
Yeah, baby, let's go, baby. Come on.
Oh, there you go. A little emotion. Whoa, Michael.
Giving it to the older brother.
There's nothing wrong with a little head games every once in a while. Oh, yeah, we love each other, but not right now, we don't. On Tuesday on ESPN, an ACC-SEC twin bill. 7 o'clock Eastern, the 10th ranked Duke Blue Devils host number 19 Florida State. Then off we go to Rupp for number 11 Kentucky versus Vanderbilt. Super Tuesday presented by CenturyLink on ESPN, streaming live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. I'm pretty pumped about this Randy Peterson track tech talk today.
Well, let's take a look at the brothers Tang. Pretty similar to start, but all things change when they get into their third step. Look at how long Darren's third step is, compared to Michael's. And then watch how quick the ball gets to the top of the swing and then down for Darren Tang on the left. Michael on the right, a little more traditional power player. Darren, early timing, ball gets to the top, gets down quick, big long third step.
So there we see Darren down a dozen, but he is up here in the 6th. The only difference, that 4th frame, Darren left a 3-6-10. Michael had a shot he hated, but ended up with just a 2-pin left behind, and he converted that. Part of our bowling doubleheader today, first time. We've done live bowling doubleheader. The World Bowling Tour Championships follows immediately after this show. That's going to hurry. And he leaves the 2 behind.
I think he's playing too far right on that lane. Remember, he went high the last time in the 4th, leaving the 3-6-10, but this ball needs to be more around 7-8. It gets out to 2-3.
This certainly appears to be a match. It's going to go down to the 10th frame. Now you can outfit yourself just like the pros with official PBA jerseys that are available exclusively at PBA.com. The jerseys are made from high-performance fabric and can be customized for each person or your team. Click on the menu tab of the PBA.com homepage and select the Shop PBA link and get started. Great crowd here at the Orleans, a very gracious host. See the max scores for the 2. Right now it's Darren on the short end. On the left lane, a powerful strike.
I think that's the line he needs to play on the right lane as well. Just move his feet and his eyes left. Keep it nice and tight. Watch where Michael plays this right lane. This is where Darren needs to be. Now, see, that's more 7-8-ish, and I like that.
Well, Michael got fired up after that last strike of his.
Gave older brother the business.
Yeah, he did.
Just got all up in his face like, cash me outside.
Oh, no.
How about that?
Again, I've said it several times. It just seems like you can hear his ball. It's just like stalking. There's no other way to describe this.
Well, it's online and it's projected in a great direction. And I like the adjustment that Michael makes. You know, when his ball starts to read a little bit early, he just gets faster. He's keeping that same down and in trajectory through the front part of the lane. But you could see that was a good 5 to 6 boards left of where Darren's ball was on that same lane.
Well, he's opened it up to 22. When spare is a bad score, it is difficult for Darren Tang, who's only had 3 spares. But at the moment, his brother has just 2 and 5 strikes. Oof, 7-pin. Just got pummeled. And all of a sudden, it's a 32-pin explosion for Michael over Darren.
Right, you know, those of us that have had an older brother growing up, which I did, I know what it was like to get picked on and beat up by my older brother. I guarantee you, Michael's remembering that right now.
Well, he may have the last laugh, or at least I should say, the next laugh. I don't know if there's ever a last laugh with brothers or sisters. I thought he was going to get a kick on the 10. He did not. I think he felt the same way. And suddenly for Darren, this match could be slipping away. That was his big opportunity there to do something, to plant his flag.
That was round 5. So better, but ring 10 all but puts an end to his day.
Well, this ought to be interesting. Our next match, 24-year-old Alex Hoskins has not been on television before. It is just his second national tournament. We'll tell you a little bit more about his unique story in a moment. Michael Tang has been on television as a collegiate bowler. Won the 2015 Intercollegiate Singles Championship. However, this is a different animal completely. He knocks off an accomplished player in Martin Larsen. He is about to defeat his brother, who's a terrific talent and a PBA member. We're going to have 2 non-PBA members for the right to face Jason Belmonte.
Well, it looks like Michael Tang's going to advance, and he's going to take on Alex Hoskins, and that guarantees us a non-PBA member in the title match against Belmonte. Amateur against arguably the greatest player on the planet right now. I know E.J. Tackey would like to argue that, but all of a sudden, Jason Belmonte's making a pretty good case.
Well, you think about it, they won our first 2 big February tournaments. Belmo in Ohio, Tackett in Oklahoma last week in a unique and shocking finish. And you can see, Darren, it's sunk in. And the hits just keep on coming. I thought the messenger was going to show up that time, but it went away. But
another really nice shot by Michael Tang. Head pin coming across and goes behind the 10.
Well, you imagine we took the break, and this is what, a 12-pin match because Darren had not gotten up.
Yep.
And we thought this thing might go to the 10th and be down to the last shot or 2, but Darren just could not string the strikes together like Michael could.
Yeah. Only the 1 double.
Learning curve continues for Darren Tang at 23 years old. He'll be on TV again. Michael Tang has locked it down. Next up will be Alex Hoskins out of Utah. Competing for the 3rd of Big February's majors. For Easy Mike Breezy, as he's known on Twitter.
Easy Mike Breezy. Stay behind the foul line. You will move on.
He did. The pins found their way into the pit again for him, too. Michael Tang has defeated his older brother Darren, advancing to the 3rd match versus Alex Hoskins for the winner to take on Jason Belmonte. So far it's been Michael Tang, the star of the show. The USBC Masters is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By HotelPlanner.com, the best place to book hotel rooms. Best rooms, best rate, guaranteed. By Ebonite, bold it forward. And by 900 Global, performance for your game. A cerulean blue sky of Las Vegas leading us to our Columbia 300 fun fact. This year marks the 4th time the city of Las Vegas has hosted the USBC Masters since the inception of the event in 1951. That was 86, 09, 2012, and obviously this year. Speaking on behalf of everybody, call us anytime. We'll be there. We take a look at what we've seen so far. Michael Tang defeating Martin Larsen and then defeating his brother Darren. 2 strong games for 21-year-old Michael, 264 and 248. Now he goes up against another non-PBA member and 24-year-old Alex Hoskins as the youth movement continuing in professional bowling. The USBC is the national governing body for bowling and a membership organization that provides standardized rules, regulations, and many benefits for its members and, of course, for the sport of bowling itself.
Having USBC as the governance structure within bowling, working with its 2,700 associations around the country, is an important piece of the competitive puzzle.
Needs 9, has 10, and McKendree has a national championship.
Growth is important because it shows that there's a future, and then you see kids have a good experience, they want to do it more often.
The
The rebirth of the PWBA Tour is bowling evolving in a very positive manner. The professional end of the sport is always going to be important in that, giving a 7-year-old something to aspire to be. The PBA has been that for a lot of years and continues to be that. There's some great pros, some younger ones that have emerged here recently that we're excited about. The Open and Women's Championships are a benefit of membership for our members. Gives everyone the opportunity that's a member of our organization to compete and possibly win a national championship. Well, I think the highest value is implementing the standards of the game and enforcing the rules. We're here to govern the rules. We're here to create new ones if needed. The game, the sport will evolve over time. And having the structure in place that looks out for that is the ultimate benefit of USBC membership.
And there's Chad Murphy on your left, Tom Clark, the PBA commissioner, on the right. They get good seats, by the way, Randy. They really they do well.
Yeah, I think they know someone.
There he is, Alexander Hoskins. Alex Hoskins, as he prefers to be called, 24 years old, making his television debut against Michael Tang in our next match. Inside the Orleans, this is the USBC Masters here on ESPN. Delighted to get ready for our penultimate match. Jason Belmonte awaits the winner. He's at the top of the stepladder looking for his 4th Masters championship. On Monday, we got number 8 North Carolina squaring off against number 18 Virginia in our first game at 7 Eastern on Big Monday. Then Oklahoma and number 3 Kansas at the Fog will be following that. The Jayhawks have picked up yet another piece of the Big 12 regular season title, 13 consecutive years. Big Monday presented by eBay on ESPN. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. Well, there's no better way to start your television career if you're Alex Hoskins than by talking to Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, Jay. So, Alex, you know what? This is the second PBA event you've ever been to. You make a major show. But when you and I talked yesterday, you said that you didn't think you were going to have any nerves. You just threw your first few practice balls. You're now under the big lights. How are the nerves?
Man, last night, it was tough to sleep, honestly. But getting here today, getting some adrenaline in me, I'm feeling really good.
Are you prepped for today?
I am. I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, good luck to you. We'll be watching, guys.
All right, Kimberly and Alex, and guess what? Alex gets to roll the first shot. He was ready for his close-up, though. He stayed on camera right till he was cleared by the director.
Did great.
Yep. All right. Now, these guys are not PBA members, so just a reminder, if these guys pull the upset and take down Belmo in the next match, they are not going to get a PBA title credit, but they obviously are the Masters champions. You see, is one other national event. Now, why does he not bowl full-time? He has a full-time job, and we will explain as this match goes on. And a ringing 10 to start. A bad break there for Alex Hoskins, who is a technical customer service rep for the Storm Bowling Company in Utah.
Well, this is a pretty good shot. It was better than I expected, to be honest. But right now, he's just trying to remember to keep breathing.
Yep.
I remember my first time on television. Boy, it was scary. I think I shot 153. And he is not using urethane.
All right, you called that earlier because he did not use urethane at all. Now, one of his jobs at Storm is testing bowling balls, so he's going to be familiar with what he needs out here. He is not naive about the ways of bowling, but he loves his job and does not really want to commit to a professional bowling life on a tour. As for Michael, business as usual. You saw the amount of strikes he's had so far. Add one more to that.
Very steady so far, but really hasn't been pushed. He was sort of halfway through game 2 against his brother.
Defeated Martin Larsen in the first game. Larsen got off to a slow start, never was quite able to recover. And then the duel with Darren Tang was almost eyeball to eyeball until the last few frames.
Interesting, he changed his grip a week before this tournament. He shortened his middle finger. I'd say it was a pretty good move.
Uh-oh, well, that was nearly the first split he has seen all day long.
Well, this ball looked like it read pretty early. And a nice break, tripping the 6-pin out late. It's kind of a bewildered look. Whoa, that ball did what? What you talking about, Willis?
How much change have you seen in the lane since we started?
Just in the front part. That's what happens usually with the urethane. The front's going to start to go, and then the urethane balls carry oil down the lane. So you're going to get a little earlier hook and a little bit tighter down lane. But that's good for reactive resin, or excuse me, with urethane when you're trying to go straight. Let's throw it down to Kimberly.
Thanks, Randy. So, Darren, it was pretty obvious that you were disappointed with how things went, but now you got to switch gears because you went from competitor against your brother to cheering him on now. Did you guys talk at all after your match?
Not much. I mean, he understood where I was coming from. He'd be pretty much the same, and I'd understand if I won that match. So I'll be supporting him from here on out.
What's happening with the lanes out there?
Right now on the left lane, we're seeing the around second arrow, the fronts are starting to blow up a little bit, so he's starting to have to get a little left of that. That's kind of what I was playing for. That's why I started on the left lane. I wanted him to finish there, but it just didn't develop quick enough for me to stay close enough.
I know it stings right now, but if your brother wins this tournament, will everything be okay?
Nothing but love. I hope he wins it.
Nothing but love. I love to hear that. Brotherly love right here. Guys, we're going to send it back to you.
That's actually our philosophy here among the three of us, Kimberly, you, me, and Randy. Just nothing but love.
Yes.
You're not buying that, are you?
I
tell you what,
he said.
Hoskins has thrown two nice shots.
Yeah.
He's been ripped off twice on a ring intense.
It's going to be interesting to see what he's allowed to do with using reactive resin. Obviously, he's farther left. He's got a pretty clean area in front of him. And as we take a look at his arsenal, he's using an Alpha Crux. But he's away from the traffic that we've already had today. Also, reactive resin, you can create more shapes. So if Michael Tang loses reaction with urethane, Alex Hoskins is going to win this game and bowl for the title.
Against Jason Belmonte. There, he got a trip on the 10. Now, he's had three solid shots. If you wondered about his nerves, he put that aside for the moment. We mentioned Mike Fagan was here. There's a good look at one of the great players of his day. Stepped away from the game. But he understands what it's like to win this event. Just raw power. Did he increase the speed on that shot?
It looked like he really got after it. You know, one of the things he said to us was that he really likes to get aggressive at the bottom and really hit it. And that's what that shot looked like to me. That bent elbow and cupped wrist, and then just snaps on it at the bottom. 10 in the pit. Left lane, I think, is going to be key for him. It has been thus far, and the last shot really looked like it hooked early, and let's see what kind of adjustment he makes here.
In the face. Wow. Messenger just destroyed the 610, leaving him with a break in the count and a very makeable spare.
Left lane is fried. That ball hooked early. The problem with urethane, though, is that you can't move in and start opening the lane up. If he wants to do that, he's going to have to get a reactive, and that would completely take him away from what he has done this entire week.
Zero trouble with spare making so far. Then again, he hasn't had any difficult ones. See Mom there. A little bit easier now that they don't have both their sons in a match. Hoskins, 24 years old, and look at the... It's like playing that PBA video game that you play when you can bowl against great bowlers. Look at, mark them off, man.
This guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. I mean, some pretty good matches there.
We just got a text from Lucas Nagani, Randy, that he would like you to put it down his name also, and the third ringing 10 for Hoskins.
With all due respect, Lucas, but the other boys have a little more street cred.
Well, you heard Hoskins just say there, good shot, good shot. He's reminding himself that he has thrown flush, just about, and just not catching breaks.
Yeah, all four have been really nice. And with a spare here, he's actually going to be trailing.
Not any big adjustments he has to make, really, just get some luck.
He's got to find a way to get his ball to strike.
Don't forget, we have another tournament final coming up immediately after this show concludes, the World Bowling Tour Finals. 3 women and 3 men competing for the World Bowling Tour titles. There you go. End all suspense right there. Here, so Tang gets rung up. Well, I'm sure Hoskins sitting there thinking, well, it's about time it happened to somebody other than
right?
me.
2 games in now, and Michael Tang starting to see a difference, especially in the front part of the lane. He hasn't left very many 10 pins today.
He hasn't left very many pins today.
In fact, that's his first 10 pin of the day.
And it pays the price for having the temerity to hang around.
Temerity? Is that like gall, audacity?
Yes, all of the above.
Nice.
Yep.
See, I'm
nerve.
I'm like, I get smarter just sitting next to you.
You're the first person to have ever said that. Thank you.
I don't know if that was a compliment or not.
It is a compliment. Oh, 7 pin. Down you go. It's an impressive 5.5 frames. We are even with Michael Tang at 21, Alex Hoskins at 24. Their prize could be a major championship. Today, Tuesday, I should say, in ESPN, an ACC-SEC doubleheader. 7 Eastern, the 10th ranked Duke Blue Devils, number 19, Florida State. That'll be at Duke. Then off we go to Rupp Arena in Lexington for number 11, Kentucky versus Vandy. Super Tuesday presented by CenturyLink on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN.
You know, Duke shouldn't have any trouble winning that game as long as they don't trip over themselves.
Hello, time for our Barbasol Close Shave of the Day.
There it is, the last shot. He goes high flush, almost leaves the stone 7, but a great shot going to break for Michael Tang.
Michael Tang has shown a little emotion once or twice, particularly in the match with his brother, Darren, but he stayed quiet. Alex Hoskins has stayed fairly quiet, and your reward is a chance to win the USBC Masters if you win this match. Probably should mention that behind door number 3 is Jason Belmonte.
There you go.
Little light, and the 7-pin stays standing.
Gotta roll it better than that.
Well, you heard him. You got to roll it better. He's been very good all week long at keeping his hand really soft and behind it so he can keep the ball on line.
That's the first shot he's ever taken out of a television break in his career.
That's true.
And many bowlers will tell you that's the toughest shot to throw. No trouble at all with the 7. Have amateurs won this event before? You ask, we tell. Even in this century, Brett Wolf did it. And see Rick Steele-Smith, that we mentioned that name earlier, in 1987. So it's not an impossibility. It's just very difficult. Ask for a re-rack, get 2 per game. Yeah, and you know, it's interesting when he talked to us about his ambitions. He's perfectly happy doing what he does. He's got 29 300 games in his life. And he loves his job and really does not envision, regardless of what he does here, all of a sudden springboarding into becoming a touring professional.
That's a good shot.
So you don't think if he wins the USBC Masters that all of a sudden, because, you know, maybe I should do this for a living?
He said he's just happy he got the time off to compete in this event.
All right, so what if it was me and I was him and he wins? I would then go back to Storm and I'd ask for a raise.
He doesn't have to go very far to talk to the boss.
That's true. I'd ask for a raise. If they don't give it to me, then I go on tour.
Come on. Yes, a trip on the 10, and this is an eyeball-to-eyeball battle right now.
Great shot here. 6 goes to the sidewall, catches just enough of the 10-pin. And right now, Michael Tang can increase his lead to 20 with a strike here in the 8th. I think he's figured this left lane out. Remember, he has to finish the match on the left lane.
Well, you mentioned how the lanes were changing on him, and how would he react? Locked on that. Oh, he's starting to walk that one out a little bit. He put a lot on that shot. PBA's Extra Frame is your home for exclusive live coverage of the PBA, PBA 50, and PWBA tours. In March, check out live coverage of the PBA Extra Frame Reality Check Classic from Tamarack, Florida. Yearly, monthly, and 3-day subscriptions are available. Click on the Extra Frame link in the menu section of PBA.com for more information. Sawgrass Lane's down there in Tamarack. Great house. Snuck up and a kick save and a beauty on the 10.
Shot, way to go.
7-10 standing just for a brief moment, but this gets him right back in the match. And with another strike here in the 9th, we'll be back to even. Max score 239 for Alex Hoskins. Max score for Michael Tang 249. Every time I go to say Alex Hoskins, I'm thinking Steve Hoskins, because Steve just got inducted into the PBA Hall of Fame last year, and it still resonates in my brain.
But no relation. You know why? Because his parents are here, Mark and Debbie, in the front row, along with girlfriend Rachel, who made an appearance on Extra Frame this week with our man Marshall Holman. And absolute power. Even through 8.5 as Mom and Dad watch. Rachel there on your right, screen right.
Allie put a great touch on that shot there, and back to even now. But no matter what, Michael Tang can step up and strike in the 9th and strike in the 9th and double in the 10th, and he will advance to both for the title. Anything less, Alex has got a chance to win.
This match is making me nervous. I'm impressed with the demeanor of these two guys. Again, neither of these two is a professional. Oh, wait a minute. No. That messenger's just going to twirl aimlessly. And boy, it was a solid looking shot.
Yeah, this is very unfortunate. Just a vicious ringing 10 going around. And then this pin coming around, spinning in front of it as a teaser. And now he's in jeopardy of losing.
Yeah, there are teasers in the sports book. You don't like to see them on the lanes. So there is that door open for Hoskins that Randy just mentioned. Got to take care of business in front of you. He does. Both these players have been around the pocket or buried in the pocket all match. And just hanging loose, warming up a little bit. You might hear in the distance Jason Belmonte. Absolutely attacking that left lane, and 228 is his max. And he might need every bit of it.
Take a look at this shot. Remember, the left lane starting to go, so what does he do? He starts lofting it right around second arrow to keep it on line. A brilliant shot.
Well, he not has the physical game, but he appears to have the mental game as well.
Yeah, that's the scary part about the youth movement out here is that they're mature beyond their years. His mom watches on. She knows what the score is. She's been around this enough to have any chance. I think he needs to strike out.
2 down. 1 to go for the 228.
Nothing better than taking a chance, making an adjustment, and then executing. It's exactly what Michael Tang has done here in the 10th frame. If he carries the hit in the 9th, that vicious ringing 10, he's a winner. But right now he needs to get 10. And of course, Alex Hoskins to double.
Hoskins' max is 239.
This is a big shot, this Phil shot. If he strikes here, Hoskins can go strike 9 spare. We will have a tie.
And that means 1 ball roll off. That's to the face, and he'll leave a stiff 4.
Not as much airtime under that one, but still a nice way to finish here in the 10th. Now, Alex Hoskins has to strike first ball in the 10th frame. If he does not strike on this ball, Michael Tang wins.
There you see, strike 9 spare. We'll get it done.
Has only struck on this right lane 1 time. That was the last time he was up in the 8th frame.
But he's had some good shots, right? He's had some ringers here, so it's not as if he hasn't thrown the ball well. Oh, it goes wide. Oh, he had his first bad shot of the match. And Michael Tang has climbed all the way up the ladder to take on Jason Belmonte for the USBC Masters. More pressure for mom and dad to sit through. And for Alex Hoskins, a television debut that he has to be and should be very proud of when the sting of defeat settles away. A great job by this 24-year-old from Brigham City, Utah. But now get ready, because Jason Belmonte is going to try to grab a trophy. That one for the 4th time. No one has ever done it before. Tomorrow we've got number North Carolina squaring off in Big Monday action against number 18 Virginia in the first game at 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. That'll be followed by Oklahoma visiting Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse as Kansas just absolutely owns the Big 12 regular season title. Big Monday presented by eBay on ESPN, streaming live on the ESPN app and, of course, on Watch ESPN. Time for Randy to take us through our Geico Championship recap.
That was all Michael Tang here in Game 1 against Martin Larsen. 5-bagger, 4-bagger for 264 as he wins. He takes down Martin Larsen with that score to Martin's 229. Then the next match, it's a battle of the pros. Michael taking on brother Darren, giving him a little trash talking. It was all Michael Tang. He shoots 248 to Darren's 212. And then in match number 3, which we just saw, this match came down to the 10th frame. Tang gets 2 in the 10th and forces Alex Hoskins to strike first ball. Looked like he got fast and got a little wide, comes up light, leaves a 2-pin. Michael Tang will bowl for the title against Jason Belmonte. And if you watch the Geico Championship recap, you know that you probably just saved 15% or more.
Certainly on your bowling highlights right there. There's Jason Belmonte trying to win a 4th USBC Masters. It has never been done before. Tonight you want to wrap your weekend with John Buccigross, Steve Levy, and a little show we like to call Sports Center. They'll have everything from the Daytona 500 to college basketball, the NBA, the NHL, spring training, the Honda Classic, and everything else. Sports Center tonight on ESPN, also streaming live on the ESPN app and on Watch ESPN. Here he is, Jason Belmonte, Masters number 4 on his 2 hands. Let's go back to the first 3 because he Tom Amansky'd them, Randy, back to back to back.
Oh, nice line. Yeah, he was pretty much owning the Masters, wasn't he? In fact, he became the first player to ever climb the stepladder to win a Masters. He did win one from the number 1 seed as well, but, you know, Michael Tang actually has a chance to do that today.
That's right. He was in the opening match against Martin Larsen, defeated his brother Darren Tang, defeated Alex Hoskins, but can he beat this guy?
And Belmonte is going to start on the left, which makes Michael Tang finish on the left.
Well, he didn't do too badly on the left when he finished. However, Belmonte starts off as you would expect. So used to the spotlight.
Yeah, he's dancing with the one he brought. Actually, you know, Belmonte used a combination of urethane and reactive resin throughout the week, but when he got into match play, it was all straight urethane for Jason Belmonte.
So you've got somebody who's not a professional, does not have not a PBA member, against the top player in the world. However, if you're feeling good about your game right now, maybe it doesn't matter who the other guy is.
The big question mark is how Michael handles the pressure and if Jason Belmonte has a nice look on the right lane.
And it's our buddy Mike Kaufman, Director of Bowling Operations for all of Boyd Gaming. Well, I'll ask you a question about the lanes in Belmo when he comes back up, so I'll hold you to that.
I just want to say thanks to Mike Kaufman. He's a good friend of mine and just one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Thanks for everything, Mike.
Again, lofting on that left wing. I don't know, one of those pins may never recover.
How old did you say he was?
I believe Michael is listed here at 21.
Is that a typo?
Or did you mean Mike Kaufman?
No, Michael Tang.
Michael Tang?
Yeah.
Yes, 21.
Yeah,
he sure doesn't bowl like it, does he?
No. You don't do stuff like that at age 21.
You know, Belmo at age 33 looking for an 8th major championship. And he knows what he has to do. I mean, he's been keeping an eye on this thing. He realizes he's walking into a hornet's nest right now, and he's prepared.
Well, his job is to maintain pace with Michael Tang, keep the pressure on, and see how the youngster responds.
The question is, how have the lanes broken down for Belmo's game?
I think that the more they break down, as you take a look at his arsenal, it's another pitch black, the more they break down, the more it favors Jason Belmonte.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
He got the messenger. There were about 3 splits that were broken at that time by some friendly messengers.
This is just filthy. I mean, title match, you don't want to fall behind. The 410 is standing. He catches that break. Man, and it was just like he heard Maury say, "You are not the father."
Well, nothing has rattled Michael Tang today. Seven pin's going to stay.
And that's going to be the only thing that will rattle him if he starts to experience some unfriendly carry. Especially if he starts falling farther and farther behind.
That's a good point. I mean, when Belmo comes back up, he can really ramp up the heat.
This is a good shot. I mean, this strikes 8 out of 10 times, 9 out of 10 times. But right now he's looking at falling a little behind here early through 3 frames. He hasn't trailed by a whole lot.
I was about to ask, and I'll
Throughout the
ask
entire
our scorekeeper,
day.
Mike, has he trailed at all today? I don't think so. No, Mike Edwards, our scorekeeper, telling us that we don't think Mike has trailed at all today. And remember, he was in our opening match.
Has never trailed.
Yeah, that's what we thought. Kimberly Pressler standing by with Alex Hoskins. Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. So, Alex, you played well. You didn't have any open frames, but you really needed that strike in the 10th. When you threw it, did you think you had it?
I thought it was close. I did what I wanted to do out here. I made 10 great shots, and pins just didn't fall my way this day.
Well, you made it to a major show. It's your first time out here, and when you look back on this, what is this experience like for you?
It's a dream come true. Ever since I was a little kid, I just always wanted to be here. I hope I get to do it again sometime.
We hope you are, too. Good job today for making it this far. Guys?
Yeah, Alex, our congratulations and a hearty salute from this group here for a fantastic show.
Yep, well done.
Meantime, Tang bouncing right back from a bad break. You see Jason Belmonte's path. He had to take down his good friend Bill O'Neill. And, of course, he and Hoskins dueled in the battle for the top seed.
That match there, Machuga leaves a 10-pin in the 10th frame of the last game.
Well, there's a lot more in that relationship.
Yeah.
That has been covered in bowling blogs, and that's something there for years. Mike Machuga not necessarily walking around in Jason Belmonte T-shirts. So coming up, the world...
That was really good.
Okay, I'm glad you're happy.
That was good.
The World Bowling Tour Finals are coming up right after our show. I mean, right after the show. 3 of the top women in the world, 3 of the top men in the world. Martin Larsen is sticking around. He's going to pull a double header today, as we are. That'll be immediately following our show right here from New Orleans. Apologize for the two of us laughing here, but there is beef between those two, but that's for another day. Right now, Belmonte's got beef with the pins. I see. That is perfect through 5.
Yes, beautiful execution here on this shot. Remember that great break that he got in the 3rd frame, and that's ultimately the difference thus far. Instead of double, spare, double, it's 5-bagger.
Well, Tang has had 1 bad frame, and that was a 9 spare, and he's down 31. Messenger just shot right across. But no luck there. And this is the kind of match where a single pin can hang you. And you see Michael and Darren's mom. We had a chance to talk with her. Kimberly did, mom and dad. Imagine the relief of the two sons match is over, but all of a sudden your youngest is battling the top bowler in the world. Now, Michael Tang really hasn't done anything wrong, and he's down by 31 pins.
Yeah, that's a great point. He hasn't. He's made 5 really, really nice shots. And again, the difference thus far halfway through the title match is pin carry.
Yes, Belmonte has carried all of his. Tang with a big lock on that. He is going to get a messenger friendly this time. He's 3 for 3 on that left-hand lane.
Well, I'm not even sure I'd call that a break because it was such a good shot. Messenger comes over. Actually, I think there was a little insurance here. Yeah, the 6-pin's kind of helping the head pin take the 10 out. But, you know, the bottom line is he's still only at 209 and Belmonte's in the 230s. Can Belmonte continue the string and impose his will on young Michael Tang?
Well, this could be an answer for you right there. These pins taking a brutal beating from Belmonte, who's looking for a 4th Masters championship. Anthony Simonson broke the string of 3 straight last year. You see Belmo, what he's done is the top seed in stepladder finals, and he's was the #1 seed 2 weeks ago in Columbus, Ohio at the Players Championship, the Barbasol Players Championship. He won that. Finished 7th a week ago in Shawnee, Oklahoma. You know, is an attitude I have to admit I like. You know, when we talk a little bit with him, we get a chance to say, you know, I don't fly halfway around the world to finish 2nd.
Yeah.
And it can also be summed up by you ain't first, you're last.
Thanks, Ricky Bobby.
Anytime. Yes, sir! 7 in a row for Belmo.
This is with the urethane bowling ball. Of course, when your rev rate's about 650, you can probably throw a marble down there and do that. Pretty impressive. And just to let the folks know, we misspoke a little bit ago when we said Michael Tang never trailed in a match.
Yes.
And he didn't.
Come on.
I thought that he was trailing Alex Hoskins, but as it turns out, he wasn't.
Okay, so we were right the first
We
time.
were right the first time.
Well, again, all Tang has done is leave single pins, and you see he's down 51 here in the 7th. It's unbelievable. And that's because Belmo hasn't missed yet. And Jason could be chasing something else here. And Tang staring down that approach a little bit, might have had a problem. But he's got probably bigger issues to deal with right now, as he has definitely been knocked to the deck by the force of Jason Belmonte. I asked you at the start of the show, Randy, are we about to see a second wave of Belmonte after not winning in 2016? Even though he had a pretty solid year, made several television shows, just didn't win. And we may have gotten a hint 2 weeks ago.
I don't think there's any question about it. He's a different guy now. He's refocused and looking to make history here by winning his 4th Masters. It's never been done before. Well, he made history here when he won 3 in a row. That had never been done before. And
it'd be major win #8 also for Jason. Remember, he's only 33 years old. He's in great shape. Takes care of himself as best he can. It's difficult, he says, when he's traveling, but when he's home in Australia, he certainly works hard on that. A good spare there for Tang, but spares just aren't going to do it here. This is our hammer tough spare replay, Randy, and sometimes you see players will chop this.
It's a lot harder when the 8-pin's behind it, but Michael Tang, I think that's the first time he shot 3-pin cluster all day long. He's pretty much lived in the pocket, but bad carry in the 3rd, 5th, and 7th, along with the front 7 for this man, his undoing.
Ooh, 7-pin. Keeping Belmo from a perfect game.
That's what I think is really amazing about what he does is we see him lofting the left gutter a lot, really opening up the lane, but when he can go straight with urethane like he's doing today, it's a pretty scary combination.
And Jason's going to take a re-rack, which gives us graciously a chance to show you this. And you see Belmonte is about to tie Walter Ray and Mike Albee. 2 back of PDW and Earl Anthony. And Norm Duke sitting there also with Belmo at 7. And Norm still incredibly competitive. And you see the full score, commanding lead. Carry it does, yes. Jason. Yes. Get used to that shot there because you're going to see it again, and the next time you do, you're going to see Jason Belmonte holding that trophy. But I tell you what, you've also seen the unveiling of perhaps another star in bowling in Michael Tang, a USBC Intercollegiate Singles champion. He's going to finish up college at San Jose State. I hope he decides to turn pro, and we see him out here all the time.
He has a bright future. An incredible talent, but he just got the full wrath of Jason Belmonte.
We have more bowling coming up because we're doing something that has not been done before. Live doubleheader action, the World Bowling Tour Finals. You'll see Liz Johnson, Danielle McEwen, Martin Larsen, along with Anthony Simonson, Angie Ramirez-Perea, Marshall Kent. Well, we've got real talent on that show, and we're going to be using the classic World Bowling scoring format. So there he is. He has done it again. Jason Belmonte is your champion. His 8th major, his 14th career tour title, his 2nd major this month.
We've got a real player of the year race now with E.J. Tackett winning the Tournament of Champions in Japan Cup, and then Belmonte doing it. This is a 2-horse race.
And it's February.
And it's February.
So big February. Thy name is Jason Belmonte. He's going to put the capper on this, and then a very gratifying trophy walk for Belmo.
I mean, he doesn't just win. I mean, he could win by 66 pins, make it 67 pins if he strikes out.
Well, Michael Tang has no reason to hang his head.
No, he bowled great.
And he was fantastic today. But for Jason Belmonte, Randy, you've been in the position to take those victory lap shots. What's it like?
Well, it's there's no better feeling, I can tell you that, but it seems like it goes by so fast. You know, the only time you really get to enjoy it is when you go back home and you watch it on DVR. Of course, back then we had to watch videotapes.
I was going to say, I hope nobody erased it and put Golden Girls on or something.
Yeah, right. Nice.
So there you go. At the top, Jason Belmonte. Look, he just pulled that one out of the audience and he threw a strike with it. A 279, a dominant performance by the top player in the world, Jason Belmonte. Another major for Belmo, number 8, a 14th title, and he is the master of professional bowling, Jason Belmonte. The USBC Masters is brought to you by the United States Bowling Congress, creating competitive opportunities at all levels as we build a future for the sport. Visit bowl.com for more. By Motive Bowling, get motivated. By Grand Casino Hotel and Resort, the Oklahoma City area's premier casino resort experience. And by Track Bowling, make the smart move. On a day when we are making television bowling history, we saw television bowling history. Bowling history with Jason Belmonte winning the USBC Masters for an unprecedented 4th time, defeating Michael Tang. And Belmo is standing by with Kimberly.
Thanks, guys. I'm laneside for the trophy presentation, and I'm joined by Chad Murphy, the executive director of the USBC, and Frank Wilkinson, who's going to actually give him the trophy.
Congratulations, awesome bowling.
Cheers.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you.
Jason, they talked about at the top of the show and whether or not we were going to see the Jason Belmonte who dominates everything, and I'm pretty sure we saw that today. You started off with the front 7 and earned yourself the 4th Masters. You're the only person to ever do it. What's that mean to you?
I don't know what it means to me. I'm still trying to kind of calculate everything that's happened so far. I'm super proud, really, really happy. To my family, Kimberly, Aria, Hugo, Sylvie, who woke up early this morning to watch me. I love you. Thank you. It's ridiculous, Kimberly. Like, there's no way I ever thought this was going to be possible, but I'm going to hold on. I love this tournament. Can I just say I love this tournament?
You can.
I love it a lot.
All right, well, congratulations to you. Go ahead. It's all you.
Well, Belmo, it loves you back. For the 4th time, Jason Belmonte is the champion of the USBC Masters, 4 times in 5 years over a spirited opponent in Michael Tang, who had to defeat his brother Darren, among others, to get to the championship match. Now, you know what's coming up? Good news for you, more bowling. The top 3 men and women from qualifying events around the globe in the World Bowling Tour Finals coming up in seconds. Right here at the Orleans Bowling Center and the Orleans Hotel and Casino. We thank you for watching. Don't go anywhere.